black man from the Bronx, had attended Cornell University and was now independently studying Indian religion and Zen Buddhism. He had experimented with drugs as psychedelic tools, quote, and he had an interest in the music and poetry of India. He was influential among his friends and tried to interest them in meditation. He had even been dabbling in Sanskrit. And Carl, quote, I had just finished reading a book called The Wonder That Was India. I'd gotten the definition of a sannyasi and a brahmachari and so forth. There was a vivid description in that particular book of how you could see a sannyasi coming down the road with his saffron robe. It must have been more than just a superficial impression on me, because it came to me this one chilly evening. I was going to visit Michael Grant, probably going to smoke some marijuana and sit around, maybe play some music. And I was coming down Heister Street. If you make a left on Bowery, you can go up to Mike's place on Grand Street. But it's funny that I chose to go that way because the shorter way would have been to go down Grand Street. But if I had gone that way, I would probably have missed Swamiji. So I decided to go down Heister and then make a left. All of a sudden, I saw in this dingy alcove a brilliant saffron robe. As I passed, I saw it was Swamiji knocking on the door, trying to gain entrance. There were two bums hunched up against the door. It was like a two-part door. One of them was sealed and the other was locked. The two bums were lying on either side of Swamiji. One of these men had actually expired, which often happened, and you had to call police or health departments to get them. I didn't think I saw the men lying in the doorway until I walked up to Swamiji and asked him, are you sannyasi? He answered, yes. We started this conversation about how he was starting a temple, and he mentioned Lord Chaitanya, the whole thing. He just came out with this flow of strange things to me right there in the street. But I knew what he was talking about somehow. I had the familiarity of having just read this book and delved into Indian religion. So I knew that this was a momentous occasion for me, and I wanted to help him. We banged on the door, and eventually we got into the loft. He invited me to come to a kirtan, and I came back later that night for my first kirtan. From that point on, it was a fairly regular thing 3 times a week. At one point, Swamiji asked me to stay with him. I stayed for about 2 weeks. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavara Yamuna Tira, Yamuna Tira, Radha Madhava Kunja Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Radha, Giri Radha, Giri Shri Radha, Giri Radha, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya, Jaya Jaya, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura. Jai Om Vishnupad Brahmahamsa Kushal His Divine Grace, Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Gauda Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasti Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Parpurna Vidvidham Ki Jai. Gange Mula Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Namaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to Sundavadi Hare Krishna. All glories to Sundavadi Hare Krishna. All glories to all glories to Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna Devam Devim Sarvam Yatam. Okay, so we're continuing on reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24. entitled Chanting the Song Sung by Lord Shiva, text number 55. Amduraradyam aradya, amradyam satam api durapaya, satam api anta bhaktya ko vanchit, anta bhaktya ko vanchit, adamulam vinabahi, adamulam vinabahi. Amdura Radyama Radya Satam Api Durapaya Satam Api Ikanta Bhaktya Ko Vanchit Ikanta Bhaktya Ko Vanchit Adamulam Vinabahi Amdura Radyama Radya Satam api durapaya ekant bhaktya ko vanchit adamulam vinabahi. They will do word for word. Come unto you, Duraradyam. Very difficult to worship. Aradhaya, having worship. Satamapi, even for the most exalted person. Durapaya, very difficult to attain. Ikanta, pure. Bhaktya, by devotional service. Who is that man? Vanchit, should desire. Adamulam, lotus feet. Vina, without. Bahi, outsiders. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge. But devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization if he is actually serious about the perfection of life? I'll read the translation again. My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge. But devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization if he is actually serious about the perfection of life? Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki. The word satam refers to transcendentalists. There are three kinds of transcendentalists: the jnani, yogi, and bhakta. Out of these three, the bhakta is selected as the most suitable candidate to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is emphasized herein that only one who is outside devotional service would not engage in searching for the lotus feet of the Lord. Foolish people sometimes maintain that God may be attained in any way, either by karma yoga, jnana yoga, jnana yoga, etc. But here it is clearly stated that it is impossible to obtain the mercy of the Lord by any means but bhakti yoga. The word radya is especially significant. It is very difficult to attain the lotus feet of the Lord by any method other than bhakti yoga. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Janamjana Sulakaya Chakshu Umilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and by the mercy of my spiritual master, who is kindly forcing open my eyes with the full tide of knowledge, I offer my respectful My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge, but devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization he is actually serious about the perfection of life. So Bhakti Yoga, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is emphasizing this process of bhakti. You know, he's saying that only by devotional service can one come to me. He's saying that clearly a number of times in the Bhagavad Gita. There is even a whole chapter entitled Devotional Service. So this process of devotional service, as Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport, is the only means of approaching the Lord, essentially. We can get the Jnana Yoga, we can get the knowledge, but if we are not going to act on the knowledge, then it is like fruitless to understand that Krishna is Bhagavan. And we are very fortunate that Lord Chaitanya uprooted, you could say, the Brahma Samhita, where Lord Brahmaji is saying, Govinda Maripurusham, Tamaham Bhajami. So Lord Brahmaji is confirming that it is Govinda who is the Adi Purush, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here we are also hearing from Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is giving us instructions to meditate on the beautiful lotus feet of the Lord. We'll go back a few verses and I'll just read a few of the verses where Lord Shiva is encouraging us to meditate on the form of the Lord. So this is text number 52. My dear Lord, your two lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like two blossoming petals of the lotus flower, which grows during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such a great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of the people. My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours, which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the darkness of the gloom can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. Text number 53. My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation upon your lotus feet as described above. Those who are serious about executing their occupational duties and who want freedom from fear must take to this process of Bhakti Yoga. Text number 54. My dear Lord, the King in charge of the heavenly kingdom is also desirous of obtaining the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. Similarly, you are the ultimate destination of those who identify themselves with you, Aham Brahmasmi. However, it is very difficult for them to obtain you, whereas a devotee can very easily attain your lordship. And then today's verse, my dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge, but devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization is actually serious about the perfection of life. So Lord Shiva is clearly telling us that we have to think of the form of the Lord. Again, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is saying, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me. So that meditating or always thinking of the Lord is a very important aspect of our bhakti, or our devotional service. We're thinking of the Lord, and then gradually we desire by the mercy of the Lord to please Him and to do some service, because we can sit and meditate on the Lord, which is fine. And Prabhupada is also encouraging us to always chant Hare Krishna. He is encouraging us to engage the senses. We are understanding from Alad Maharaj, there are so many processes, hearing about the Lord, chanting, remembering. Hearing, chanting, remembering, and then there are other processes also, but we'll just focus on these, that it is important that we come and hear. So we have got these live streams, there are other devotees hearing. We've got a bit of an audience here. So we are fortunate if we can come and hear about the glories of the Lord, all this process of devotional service. Because we understand that it is by hearing about this process that we become inquisitive, or we become enlivened to engage in this process. Once we become convinced through our intelligence, through the yarn, that yes, Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Vidami. Govinda is a primeval Lord. He is apt at playing on his flute, his blooming eyes like lotus petals, and so on and so on. We have so many descriptions describing the beautiful form of the Lord. And here we are hearing even the liberated souls are desiring. So it is not something cheap. This is actually the perfection of our existence, or the perfection of human life, to be able to hear about Krishna and do devotional service to Krishna. This is actually perfection. Although we may feel not qualified, we have been given the jewel of the perfection of human life. We may not realize that at this point, but by this process of devotional service, we can reach the highest goal, even though we are not really aware of it. We are coming, speaking personally of myself, we are coming in ignorance. But we have been given like this, it's more than a touchstone. We have been given the perfection of existence, which is, like I said here, is being desired even by liberated souls. Even the King of Heaven is desiring the process. But what happens, as we can see in the history of Indra, is there are anatas within our hearts. Unwanted things are there within our heart, and we can see with so many pastimes with Lord Indra, and especially since we are here in Radha Guru Hari's temple, with the lifting of Govardhan Hill, Krishna's little finger. Indra was causing such a disturbance because of the anatas, or because of his ignorance. He was disrupting the residents of Vrindavan by these torrents of rain. And it is only when Krishna held Govardhan Hill up for 7 days that Indra realized that he had committed an offense to Supreme Person. He was thinking that Krishna was not the Supreme Person. Who is this cowherd boy who has, taken away all the ingredients for the yajna that was meant to be offered to me, and now they are offering it to Govardhan? What is it? So Indra became blinded by anger, you could say. So we have to also be careful that we also don't become bewildered in our endeavors for perfection. We should not become disturbed by what other living entities or what other devotees are doing. We have to try and remain internally very peaceful with what is going on around us. So this is one of the qualities that we have to gradually develop. And Krishna will test us and put obstacles in the way, but still we have to try to conduct ourselves properly so that we don't commit offense. This is the biggest obstacle in our path of bhakti, is this aparat. We have to avoid the aparat if we can. And then if we can avoid that, then we are assured of success. So this is a process that we have to be very aware of, not to commit offense, and to remain humble. This humility will assure us success in this path. Now, this bhakti yoga that we are hearing about here, this devotional service, is something that we have to pray for regularly. So in the mornings, we do Tulsi Puja. We are praying to Bhakti Devi. She's coming here in the mornings. And it is a very beautiful translation that Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I bow down before you again and again. My desire is to attain the service of Krishna, Radha, and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has a precious soul, and bestowing your mercy upon him, make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you also grant me the residence in the pleasure groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Thus, within my vision, I will always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So this is inconceivable mercy that we are praying for from Tulsi Devi. To become a resident of Vrindavan. Even Lord Indra is desiring, and even Lord Shiva are desiring to see the pastimes in the land of Vrindavan. So here we are, very unqualified, but still very fortunate. We're hearing of Srila Prabhupada in the Bowery, having to bang on the door to get into his loft. So Prabhupada went through so many difficulties to bring this knowledge to the West. And now that we have received it, we have to embrace it with great gratitude and humility. With great gratitude and humility, we are very grateful that Prabhupada has given us this transcendental knowledge, and we have to pray for the strength to be able to be a representative somehow or other. Whatever we can do to represent Srila Prabhupada and to distribute this message. And it is very easily done by the Sankirtan movement. We have had many Rath Yatras going on, many devotees have gone, and you could say they have stolen Lord Jagannath from the temple. But actually, we could say Lord Jagannath has desired to go out. It is by the desire of Lord Jagannath that he has travelled so far. I didn't understand that he went all the way to Tauranga like that, but he did. And Lord Jagannath is very merciful that he has left the altar and he has travelled so far to give his mercy out to the conditioned soul. They are just standing there on the side of the street, wanting to see Santa. That is why they are there. The children are there. Where is Santa? Where is Santa? Forget about Santa. You're about to have a darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you do not even know it. So this is the inconceivable mercy of this ISKCON movement, that Jagannath is going out and giving his darshan to so many people. So this was what happened to me many years ago also, not knowing anything about Krishna and then coming across the devotees like that. So it's inconceivable mercy that we are receiving. And if we are fortunate enough, we will be able to engage in this process of bhakti. This bhakti process is very, very potent. It cleanses all the anarthas from the heart, so that all we desire is to go back to the land of Vrindavan. If we are fortunate enough, this will become our desire, that we would like to become a resident of Vrindavan, where there are so many sweet pastimes going on between Radha and Krishna. If we study this Vedic literature, which is very vast, and it is condensed now into the Bhagavatam, and we hear from the Parampara, from Rupa Goswami, from Jiva Goswami, coming down through the Parampara system, if we hear what they are telling us, give up all your other things and simply run to Vrindavan. We're thinking, why would I want to run to him? But actually, this is the real truth. The sweetest thing is there. On a full moon night, Krishna is playing his flute and he is attracting the gopis, and they are all running because of their attachment to Krishna. So we have to somehow or other become attached to Krishna. And the easiest way to do that is to do something for Krishna. Whether we are rolling some roti, cooking, whether we are making garlands or giwits, or we are helping around the temple, mowing the grass, planting flowers, whatever we can do something to please Krishna. Or even if we can't do that, if we can do something for the devotee. We hear this das anu das. We can even do something for a devotee that it's serving. Tilakini, do something for her. She was asking for a light bulb the other day because her light bulb was gone. So I was a fool, and initially I forgot that she needed a light bulb. Then she rang me up again. What has happened? And then I remembered. So then again, I had to go and get a light bulb. So if we can do even something for the devotee of the devotee, this is pleasing the Krishna. And then by pleasing Krishna, or pleasing Radharani, or Lord Jagannath, or Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by just being an insignificant servant, still then we get a ticket back to the land of Vrindavan. So this is really the highest goal, the perfection of life, this bhakti yoga process. And we have to become firmly convinced that this is the ultimate truth. And like I mentioned at the beginning of class, if Lord Brahma is saying Govindam Adipurusham Amaham Bhajami, Lord Brahma is to understand the first created thing. And we heard in the third canto how he was given enlightenment from within the heart just by meditation like that. So we are also encouraged to do meditation, constantly meditating, whether we are chanting or we are just remembering the form of Tishi Radha Giridhari and how beautifully they are dressed. We are controlling our mind and using our intelligence to stay focused on this goal of the lotus feet of the Lord. If we stay focused on the lotus feet of the Lord, then we will achieve that goal. The thing is not to become sidetracked again. So therefore we have this Varnashram system. If we go through the Varnashram system, then we can realize that this is actually the perfection of life, to become an insignificant servant of sin. Okay, I'll leave my class there. I'll just read the translation again. My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge, but devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization if he is actually serious about the perfection of life? Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Krishna even says in Bhagavad Gita, even if a saintly person falls down, still it is all right. Krishna is a person, and he is understanding our dilemma. He is understanding, we are still getting pulled this way, but we know we should be going that way. He is understanding our dilemma. But if we are just sincere and humble, He is forgiving. He is understanding. Krishna is not a cruel master. He is a very sweet master or God. He is very kind and understanding. So we understand, yes. So we should not, so there may be, we may get tested all the time. Fire is there, but still we have to just call out for help. Like cry out for help. Dear Lord, please give me the intelligence to do the right thing. Please put me in that situation. So just by staying humble, and by also we have to make our intelligence strong. So we have to take shelter of the books. We have to read the books, and Bhagavad Gita, and by coming to class and hearing, this makes our intelligence stronger, so that we know, okay, no nonsense. Let's just focus on the Lord, because the goal is sweet. We have to understand there is nothing sweeter than going to the land of Vrindavan. And we can even go there now by, reading Krishna books, hearing of the pastimes. We can take our mind there by reading these books. And then when we read about, we can read about, the Krishna Leela in the Krishna book and all the other mischievous things that Krishna got up to. There are so many mischievous things that Krishna did. Stealing the clothes of the gopis when they're bathing and climbing up into the food. So we can read about that. And then we can meditate on this. Yes, I want to be an associate of that rascal Krishna. I want to be with him and do these activities. So, and so our perverted mentality can be wrong. But then when we take shelter of Krishna book, when we hear of the activities of Krishna, they're the most effective things. So just keep taking shelter, stay humble, read the books, understand our good fortune, keep doing devotional service, and avoid aparad. Avoid offending the devotees, and you're good. Just stay humble, like the straw in the street. Lord Chaitanya is telling us to do that. Just stay humble, and everything will be fine. And we can rest assured that Krishna will be great. So there we may get tested, we may fall down, but if we stand up again and carry on, beg for forgiveness, and march on, then we'll be assured of success. So rest assured, Krishna is seeing everything, but he is also very forgiving as well. He is grateful for the gift. Okay, Vantaraj Srila Bhagavatam Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Oh,